Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So my client here is my alopecia client. I don't want to call her alopecia client, but she suffers from alopecia in her crown area. That area is slowly achieving slight growth, but some parts of it is scarred. So for the holidays, she decided that she wanted to change her style up, and she wanted to add a couple tracks to close up the space in the top of her crown. So we are going to do the liquid protectant method. So what I'm doing right now is applying a little bit of styling gel. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that when I do this technique, I do like to protect the hair using gel, and then I also use a end paper in that area as well as an added protectant before I use the liquid cap or liquid growth protect. Now, first things first, before we go any further, please, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to thumbs up this video and tell me what you think in the comment section when the video is complete. So for this to actually work, I like to use the end paper because that is an added layer of protection in that area. Now, as I also said in my previous videos, when I'm doing this method, the client does have to go under the dryer, and this area needs to be thoroughly dry. Keep in mind, bacteria grows in cold, dark places, and you do not want to apply the liquid growth protect or liquid cap to damp areas or damp hair and then expect it to dry thoroughly before you apply your tracks. So this is a very important step if you are doing this method, to ensure that it is very, very dry. Okay, so she's gone under the dryer, she's dried. I did apply the liquid growth protect. It has so many different names, guys. I did apply the liquid cap. I'm like so tongue-tied right now. So what I'm doing is I am just blowing out her hair before we start applying the tracks to her hair, because I wanted to make this a very easy transition for her. Now, this particular technique is something where you are basically creating a facade. So you have to do your absolute best to ensure that you are placing your tracks the right way so that it doesn't look like she has tracks. But because it's in an area where it's a visible area like the crown, you do need to have some hair to be able to cover it, or we'd have to do a full enclosure. So we didn't want to do a full enclosure, so I just wanted to be able to add a couple tracks. So what I'm doing right now is just going through and smoothing her hair out while also curling it, just so I can do a bulk of the work and not make it too complicated for her in regards to us using more heat elements, that kind of thing. Now, for her shampoo and conditioning service, I did use the hair repair and growth shampoo and conditioner on her hair. And in regards to the cleansing or clarifying shampoo, I used our Elite Herbal Detox shampoo. I am getting more and more into using our detox shampoo versus the clarifying shampoo, because it does preserve the integrity of the hair, but it does not dry the hair out. Now, if you notice, her hair is very shiny. Even with her having alopecia, her hair is in great health. I take very good care of her hair. She does. She's very adamant on coming in for her appointments. She does continue her regimen, and she does a great job in lieu of even the problems that we have currently, or issues that we have currently. Now, I did put a little bit of First Hammer and Shine Serum on her hair, just a very small amount. And then I'm using my H2 Pro flat iron just to smooth her out. And then we will go ahead and apply the tracks. So with the track application, I did extend the tracks into or in between her hair, because I did want to add a little more density towards the front of the face. So this is an option when you're doing this. But like I said, there is no true blueprint to doing something of this magnitude, because every person's alopecia case is going to be very different. And how you lay your tracks is going to be dependent on where the problem or a trouble area is. So keep that in mind when you are trying to do techniques with clients who have alopecia situations. And of course, this is a very temporary style. This is not something that she is going to wear for anything more than 2 weeks. Why? Because you still have to make sure that you are maintaining the integrity of the hair, and glued in tracks are not made to go over 2 weeks. People try to extend them, and that is how you encounter even more hair loss at some point, because there's added tension and that track has to actually slip off. So you don't want it to continue to slip off and start dragging the actual follicle with it, because that is very, very easy to happen. And then in her case, I didn't want to put a bunch of tracks in there, but you do still want to make sure that you are covering the area thoroughly, because that is very important when you are doing any type of masking using bonded in tracks. Now, if you notice, I did not go all the way to the hairline on purpose, because that area is the weakest part of the head. And I didn't want to actually add any added tension to the hairline. Plus, because we are working in the crown of her head, I am actually very close to the temple. And when you lay tracks in the temple area of the head, it becomes very tender. So a lot of people don't know that you should actually not lay the track in the temple. You should actually either lay it above or below the temple to alleviate causing headaches, added tension, or stress on that area, because the temple area of the head is actually the weakest in the front or the hairline, as well as the hairline itself. Okay, so that's why I did not go all the way to the edge of the hairline. Furthermore, I wanted it to look extremely natural. And then she came with some very dark colored hair, where her hair is more like a level 2 to a level, it could sometimes even be a level 4, depending on what time of year it is. But she came in with a number 1, so I just had to do my absolute best to blend it in. And it's easy to blend in. I mean, it's not going to be spot on, but I'm not going to disappoint my client and say, oh no, this can't work because you brought a darker color hair. Just do your due diligence, do the best you possibly can, and just make your client's day. It's Christmas time, and I wanted my client to look absolutely fabulous, flawless, and feel her absolute best for the holiday season. Okay? So we are almost done actually adding the tracks. And this was a very easy transformation, which is what I'm going to call it, because she usually will allow me to just do more like a comb over style with her hair. And I totally understood when she said, hey, I just want to add some tracks today. The last time we did her hair, I did some finger waves and masked that area. So, there are so many different things that we can do. And this was something that I think came out really, really nice on her. Now, I am using some smaller pieces of weft just to kind of close in the space in her area where it's thinning or the alopecia lies. Why? Because I didn't have a lot of space to bring the track from side to side. And I did want to make sure that that area was covered in regards to coverage. Because remember, that is a huge space. And then you only have but so much hairline to actually work with. So I couldn't put tracks from side to side. I just filled it in slightly with like 1 to 2 inch pieces. And I only did about 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So what I'm doing now is just blending in the tracks with her hair. I didn't want to make it appear like she just had a bunch of hair in her head. So all I did was put those couple tracks in, blend them in, literally using just the cutting or trimming. And then I just used my flat iron to bump those areas that I had just put in and the top of her head. So this is something that just made it easy. You want to work smarter and not harder. That's very important. And you don't want to add even more tension or stress on the hair. Some people like to go back and they'll flat iron each individual piece again. I didn't see the need to do that because I had already started doing that when I was working my way up to the crown of her head. I think this style came out really, really good for her. It really covered exactly what we wanted it to cover. I didn't change her cut at all because remember, these are just tracks and they are temporary, guys. So I had to give her a dance. But if you notice, her hairline is also sparse and is growing back. When she first came to me, her hairline was completely bald. So this is a big stride for her. But you guys, please comment down below and tell me what you think about this style for her. Don't